Picture this. You spend weeks writing an original research paper, submit it, and then get called into your advisor's office for academic misconduct. Why? An AI detector flagged your work. Unfortunately, this isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's happening to students right now. And here's the thing, it's going to keep happening. Not because our tools need improvement, not because we need better algorithms, but because researchers have mathematically proven that reliable AI detection is impossible. Let me show you why. Hello everyone, my name is Shane from the Jenny team, and today we're tackling one of the most controversial topics in education, AI detection. For some context, when generative AI tools like ChatGPT exploded in popularity, it made it incredibly easy to produce human-like text. Naturally, institutions worried about students submitting AI-generated work. So AI detection tools quickly became the default answer for protecting academic integrity. But here's the question nobody's asking. Do they actually work? The research tells a very different story than what most institutions want to hear. First, let's understand what detection tools are actually trying to do. Detection tools work by measuring something called perplexity, basically how surprising your word choices are and how unpredictable your writing is. Human writing tends to be weird. We use unusual phrases, we make unexpected leaps, and we vary our sentence structures to reflect our individual thought patterns. AI text is different. Language models work by predicting the most likely next word given everything that came before. They're literally optimized to be statistically probable. So AI-generated text clusters around high probability word sequences. It's smooth in a mathematical sense. Now, detection tools try to exploit this difference. They're essentially asking, is this text suspiciously probable? And for a while, that kind of worked. Early AI text was obviously smooth, probable, and, well, bland. Now, as language models improve, they get better at capturing the full distribution of human writing, including the weird parts. Think about what that means. The better AI gets at its actual job, which is mimicking human language, the more its outputs overlap with genuine human text. Researchers at the University of Maryland approached this as a math problem. They asked for any detector, not just current ones, but the best theoretically possible detector, what is the fundamental limit on accuracy? And they proved something uncomfortable. For any detector, there's a trade-off. If you adjust it to catch more AI-generated writing, it'll also start flagging more human writing by mistake. If you adjust it to avoid these mistakes, then more AI-generated text goes undetected. Because human and AI writing overlap, any line you draw between them will always misclassify some text on both sides. The better AI gets at sounding human, the worse detection gets at catching them. Not because we need better detectors, but because that's just how the math works. Okay. That's the theory. What about actual performance? The most comprehensive independent test of AI detection tools was published in the International Journal for Educational Integrity. Researchers tested 14 different detection tools, 12 public platforms, and 2 commercial systems. Now get this. Every single tool scored below 80% accuracy, and only 5 scored over 70%. Now think about what this means in practice. These tools are being used to accuse students of cheating, and the best ones are wrong more than 1 in 5 times. So now we have detection tools that are 1, mathematically proven to get worse over time, and 2, can be tricked by basic paraphrasing. And you're telling me that we're using these to accuse students of academic fraud? Perhaps one of the most concerning aspects of AI detection technology is its documented bias against English as a second language writers. Research consistently shows that content produced by ESL individuals is disproportionately flagged as AI generated. A study in Patterns tested 7 widely used GPT detectors against 2 groups: TOEFL essays written by non-native English speakers and essays written by native speakers. For native speakers, there was near perfect accuracy. For non-native speakers, over 61% of their essays were misclassified as AI generated. Why does this happen? When you're writing in a second language, you tend to be more careful. You use simpler sentence structures and grammatically correct phrasing to ensure clarity. Ironically, this unintentionally mimics AI generated text patterns. And it's not just ESL students. Research shows that neurodivergent writers, like students with autism, ADHD, and other conditions, are also more likely to get false positives. Here's a thought experiment. Let's say we have 2 students, Alice and Bob. Alice spends weeks researching and writing an original paper. At the end, she uses an AI tool to polish her draft, fixing awkward sentences and improving clarity. On the other hand, Bob generates an entire essay with ChatGPT 10 minutes before the deadline. He then changes a few words, adds some intentional errors to make it look human, and then submits. Now, who do you think the detector flags? It's Alice, because the last form of her work came from an AI, even though she did the intellectual work. Bob's paper reads as human because he deliberately introduced noise. This shows that detection tools don't measure effort, learning, understanding, or academic integrity. They only measure statistical patterns that, frankly, have nothing to do with what we actually care about. So, what's the better approach? Instead of relying on flawed technology, institutions should focus on authentic assessment methods. This means incorporating in-class writing components, ensuring work is plagiarism-free, and using process-based assignments where students have to submit drafts and research logs. And here's what students should remember. Focus your energy on proper citation and giving credit where it's due, not on making random tweaks to your writing style in fear of AI detection. Academic integrity is about honestly acknowledging your sources and building on others' ideas, not trying to outsmart unreliable algorithms. And for those of you submitting to academic journals, be transparent about any AI tools you've used in editing or formatting, as many publishers now require this disclosure in your paper. Ultimately, the purpose of a research paper is to communicate insights clearly. When used responsibly, AI tools for proofreading or improving clarity can help strengthen arguments while preserving the author's scholarship. If you're interested in reading the complete article on AI detection with all the sources and citations, check the link in the description below. And if you're looking for ethical ways to enhance your academic writing, check out Jenny, which is a writing workspace built for researchers to help you with drafting, citing, and proofreading. Thank you for watching the video, and as always, happy writing.